Well, while President Trump is in Milwaukee this evening, the remaining top Democratic candidates, as we mentioned, will take the stage in Des Moines, Iowa.
Earlier today, I talked with Madison College political science instructor Marie Shepard about what to expect tonight.
The field has thinned out quite a bit. Cory Booker has left. Others have left the field. I think it would be sort of the candidates, the remaining ones, particularly the front runners, Biden, Warren, Buttigieg, to really sort of try to solidify their position. They will also, I believe, discuss sort of current events, particularly in terms of foreign policy. I think Bernie Sanders, again, another front runner, he's already sort of signaled that he will go after Joe Biden fairly hard in terms of some of his past support for, once again, the U.S. involvement overseas and that sort. So I think that will probably be the highlight. I think at this point we have a pretty good idea where the candidates stand on a number of sort of issues. But the current events of, once again, President Trump using being as commander-in-chief, using that power to assassinate someone, but then also questions about that use of force. That will come up in the debate tonight.
The Democratic committee is getting some flack about the lack of diversity on the stage tonight because of the rules, how you got onto the debate stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that is an issue in terms of the United States, in terms of demographic. There's a significant demographic change, not just in terms of race, but also in terms of background, economics, and that sort. So I think there can be an argument made if you just look at diversity strictly along race lines. Yes, it's simply not there. But you can also argue that there is diversity there in terms of it's not all just sort of white males on the stage. You have an openly gay white male on stage. You also have women that will be on stage. So some of that comes down to sort of how do you define diversity. So there isn't that if diversity is defined strictly as race, not there, but so there is diversity.
Are we to the point now where candidates are going to have to stand out to be noticed?
That can help in terms of, again, mobilizing certain parts of the electorate, certain segments of the voting population and that. So I firmly believe that at the end of the day, it comes down to the quality of the candidate, their policies and positions on different issues and that. So
how important is Wisconsin's role going to be in the primary and the general election?
I think it's going to be very important. Some of the political science research shows that, so going back to 2016, the Trump team was very encouraged by the fact that Clinton, and she was always sort of once again identified as once again the possible potential nominee for the Democratic Party, but when she lost Wisconsin to Bernie Sanders, lost to Bernie also in Michigan, and she won Pennsylvania, but it wasn't necessarily a fairly strong showing that gave the Trump team encouragement. And in the political science data, there's some indication that there's a correlation between not just sort of winning a primary, a state in a presidential primary, winning a state, but the level of intensity, how much you once again you were able to win it. Did you win it decisively, or once again sort of by a narrow edge?
But we're going to be a battleground state. I mean, it's very important.
This is going to be a battleground state again. If and even for Wisconsin, this goes by sort of in retrospect. How we look back at Wisconsin, I think in the 2020 primary season that's coming up fairly quickly, it will not just be about which. Right now, it looks like on the Democratic side, Biden, possibly Sanders, Warren, maybe Buttigieg. Not just sort of who wins, but the degree to which they win. If someone were to, so for example, if Joe Biden wins Wisconsin by a narrow margin, that doesn't bode well in terms of not only, once again, maybe getting the nomination, but in particular winning a general election. So I think Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are all in play. Wisconsin in particular. And Wisconsin is particularly important because of the demographics in Wisconsin. Western Wisconsin flipped from Obama to Trump, and now they call those sort of pivot counties or pivot areas. That's going to be, once again, critical, too.
It's going to be an interesting year.
Very interesting.
Get ready for the ads. Maurice, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
It'll be here quickly.
We'll have all the highlights tonight.
Wisconsin primary is April 7th.
That's right.
So get ready for that, and we'll be right back.
Pretty roll playback.